Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, Spunky. Oh, yes, because Spunky is the one. Yes,
Welcome guys, welcome to Kokstad Connect. I'm Unati and today we have a special interview today, and our interview is focused on Paws and Peeps. Now what is Paws and Peeps? Paws and Peeps is a non-profit organization that focuses on animal rescue, especially when it comes to dogs.
and cats.
And cats. So today we with the founder, Mrs. Judy Marshall Smith. I call her Gogo or Mom, right? And please don't be nervous. I understand this is a first for you, but this is an important story, and to create awareness and to give justice to the story and the background behind Paws and Peeps. Mom, you're allowed to have your notes with you. And I gave Mom a special questions to prepare on. So please understand and bear with us as we go through this interview. That this is not gonna be your normal conversation. Mom will be back and forth when it comes to referring to the questions that we have for her, when it also comes to creating awareness when it comes to Paws and Peeps. So I got a chance to meet Mom at the Shah Moya sterilization campaign. So what excited me was the awareness she already had been creating and educating our community here in Kokstad. And yeah, so Mom, let's leave it to you. Let's begin with the first question. The very first question is, how did you come about when it comes to the creation of Paws and Peeps?
It is probably goes right back to when I was a child.
Yeah.
My personal inspiration was seeing dogs and horses on rural roads. My small mind interpreted it as abuse and cruelty. As a child at boarding school, I'd volunteer at the child welfare over weekends. This was a highlight of the weekend, after sport, as I was an avid hockey player. On leaving school, I thought I'd be pursuing a career in nursing, but this was not to be. 8 years later, married with 3 children, my career was in the office and bringing up children. After 7 years of the empty nest syndrome, we were graced with an adopted daughter. After 38 years of managing the finances in our business, I handed over to my daughter-in-law. I definitely needed a change. As I have no qualifications to serve humans, I knew what to pursue. That brought me to volunteering at the SPCA. One fateful Saturday, I realized I needed to go alone. I did not need red tape. I did not need dozens of forms to fill in. My concern was the welfare of the individual animal, as suggested in the name. Paws first, and then the peeps.
Okay. So what I do is go and actually see what Paws and Peeps is all about, what Mom's non-profit organization is about. And you'll see from the footage that will overlay, right, that hey, this here is a great story. Great story. And what was interesting more than anything is the love that the team has for the animals. And more than anything, Mom, it's great work coming from a person who has a lot of drive and who's faced a lot of obstacles, right? Now, one question I was going to ask you is, when it comes to taking care of animals and the adoption process and making sure that people have some type of education on how to take care of their animals, what would you advise people, especially
With regards to adoption, the first thing we look at is
yeah
the yard. Is it well fenced? Is a
Okay.
dog going to be able to get out? Is a puppy going to be able to get out? There's a lot of theft.
okay yeah.
That is the first thing. The second thing is, will there be anyone at home during the day? Dogs
okay.
do not like to be alone during the day. They will pull washing off the line. They will dig holes. They will get bored. And that's one of the criteria with regards adoption. We can tell from the general, should I say, attitude of a person, whether they want to have a dog, whether they love dogs, and we specifically go for that. The other problem is people phone in, they're sounding angry, the paras have got in, and they want a dog purely for guarding. We just tell them, no, our dogs are not guard dogs. They're pets, they need to be loved. So in the township, our dogs are very sought after. We don't have enough dogs to fill the requests. So far we've done over 1,565 dogs. It's a major job, following up on them, checking up on them, making sure that they are being loved, making sure that they are still alive. So the adoptions is a very big thing to us, and we take it very seriously. We've adopted dogs as far as Cape Town, Franschhoek, Durban, Johannesburg. They've gone by air, they've gone by dog transport. We follow up and we check on our dogs. The responsibility of the owners is to love them and to feed them. And feeding them is not bone meal, pap, rice. Feeding them is some dog food every day. They cannot survive on human food and carbohydrates.
What are the worst case scenarios when it comes to animals being abused, and you've met the cases you've met up with?
Usually a neighbor reports,
Okay.
and Mdu will then go there. Mdu has been with me since day one. Mdu was born and bred in Kokstad. He knows the people. He's very diplomatic, and he goes and he speaks to people.
Okay.
With that, he lays down some suggestions. Do the people really want the dog? In other cases, if the dog is really bad, we just take it away. Because Paws and Peeps is about the animal. Primarily, it's about the animal. So we have a good rapport with the community, and we have very, very few altercations.
I presume so, because you cannot, when you realize that you've mistreated an animal to the point where people have to come and say something, especially in Paws and Peeps.
One incident that comes to mind is a lady who surrendered her dog. In other words, she gave it up and she brought it to us. This dog was extremely, extremely timid and terrified. Believe it or not, a couple of months later, she comes back and she says, "Oh, I would like my dog back." So I said, "Okay, let's see if your dog wants to go back to you."
And you can judge from
You can
there.
judge immediately This dog would not get out the kennel. This dog refused. He was not going back to this owner. So for us, dogs, they speak through their
actions.
Through the actions they speak. Some dogs come in. Oh, they are so terrified of a broomstick. We don't wonder why. We know they've been chased outside all the time. Or they're terrified to walk through a door because they've had the door banged on them. On other occasions, dogs, they're racist. They know the difference between black, white, yellow and green. A dog will come in and not want to know the guys. We wonder what's going on. Oh, they just want to know Shelly and I in the office.
Yeah.
But it all goes back to who's abusing the dog,
Okay.
who's misused the dog. One particular little dog came from Franklin. He was very manged. This little dog had been teased day and night by the little young kids.
Okay.
But he also identified black people in this whole thing.
Okay.
Eventually he got over his mange, he was healthy. Now we needed to find a home for him. But he was not interested.
In going.
He was only interested in me. Well, poor Scruffy, we ended up having to put him down because of the abuse that he experienced.
Shame.
And yeah, he just couldn't cope with people of color without being...
Okay.
Yes, you know,
Yeah,
it's just
understandable.
incredible that dogs do that. The little white dog we've got at the moment, she hates me because I'm white. She hates me. She
So
comes from a
it
colored
goes-
community. Colored man came in and she was quite happy with him. The minute
Okay.
I looked at her, she just wanted to bite me and bark at me.
This was the dog you talked about called Teddy.
That's exactly the dog. One incident was a dog came in and we could sense that there'd been dog fighting. And believe it or not, this dog wanted nothing to do with the vet, who was white. He wanted absolutely nothing to do with anybody except me.
You have a thing for animals. That's the thing. Animals gravitate to you. I've seen you will see the footage. It's amazing because there's a story you told also about when everyone is scared to approach a new rescue. They volunteer you to go and approach.
I
the
have
animal.
a problem that I'm not afraid of a dog. I know how close to get. I know how to talk to them. I know how to react very quickly if they want to bite me, and yeah, they always come through once I've spent a little time with them, once I've given them a treat here and there, spoken. What we do is actually put them into the clinic in a cage for the first couple of days so they can see that all activity in the clinic, no one's wanting to harm them, no one's wanting to abuse them, and then I start getting through to the dogs. And it is incredible how they change. They just start trusting. And that is the part I enjoy the most. The part I enjoy the most is seeing these dogs rehabilitate. Seeing them just sparkle.
That's a heartwarming story. And there was another case when I went back to the sterilization campaign, right? It was a heartier story of a dog being mistreated when it comes to the collar. Can you tell us more about that?
Shangen was actually stolen. The dog.
Okay.
He was actually stolen, and when they found him, he had a wide wound around his neck.
Shame.
From a chain from goodness knows what. And we sterilized Shangen. He was actually a hunting dog, which they prize. People want to steal them.
Okay. The projects that you've taken, can you say that they've created more impact compared to what the standard was when you first began? So do
The
you understand?
standard when I first began was there was very little help for the dogs in the township. I always said humans have clinics, they have government hospitals, they have private hospitals. Animals, there's only private vets. Very few people can afford a private vet. So that was one of the things that drove me to do what I do. When I was helping at the SPCA, we were doing sterilization campaigns. Once I started on my own, we really got going with sterilization campaigns, and we've done virtually 20 from Matatiele, Cedarville, Kokstad, Franklin, Mboiki, Hole in the Wall, Sunfontaine Farm, and we have sterilized over 4,000
And what is the
dogs and cats.
And what is the feedback that you get, Ma, when it comes to the help you've given these people and households, and especially serving the animals? What is the feedback that you get from the people that you help?
We get wonderful feedback. They so appreciate what we do. They're so thankful that they've got somewhere now to bring their dogs and get help. So many of them have got very little. They've got very little possessions. They treasure their dogs. We've seen a lot of that. They absolutely treasure their dogs.
When it comes to receiving funding and help, Paws and Peeps has its ways of receiving funding and donations, right? Aside from the little piggy banks that you have at the selected stores, what other ways can people that want to get involved with Paws and Peeps, that now know about Paws and Peeps, people at home, and especially our audience, how can they find ways to donate?
Apart from financial donations, which is absolutely essential, we do have donations of towels, blankets, pets, dishes, which are very appreciated.
So it doesn't have to be money.
No, it doesn't have to be money. One way we have brought in a little bit of extra is by call-outs. If we go into the township, there's a 50 Rand call-out. If we go to other places, there's a 100 Rand call-out. Whether we go there for a specific dog, for a specific need, whether we go there 4 times, it's still the 50 Rand or the 100 Rand.
Okay.
Where there are people in the household who are on SASSA grants, who don't work, where my guys can actually see poverty, we don't charge them.
Okay.
So we do have monthly donors, which we appreciate very much. At the time of the major campaign that we do once a year now, we send out requests to all the businesses. 2023 was very successful. Obviously 2024, the businesses were feeling the crunch, so it was not as good.
So moving on to the other questions, tell us about the kennel building and the sanctuary. How many kennels you've built for animals, how many kennels you've donated also, and I've seen that you built them from scratch.
The kennel building started in about 2019 when we found a carpenter and we managed to get donations from BB sawmills for the timber.
Oh, okay.
So we started making kennels. And the purpose of kennels was that every single dog that was sterilized, single dog that came in with an injury went home with the kennel. With that, one dog can't have a kennel and the others don't. So each household had to have its kennels. So very, very few kennels are sold.
Okay.
Predominantly all of them, most of them, are given away. If anybody drives around the township, there are these little black oil kennels all over the place.
And they're built by one person?
One guy built them. He builds about 10 or 15 a week, depending on how fast we can deliver. And to date, we have made 3,638 kennels. And we deliver kennels virtually daily.
Yeah. So it's 10 per week.
10
Depending on
to
the time.
15, depending on how many we need, etc., etc. We make little ones for Jack Russells. We make one medium size, and then we go for a large and an extra large.
Yeah, there's so much work. There's so
It's a
much
lot of work.
What about one person?
Yes, one person. And it's not quiet work. It's very noisy work. So our ears are...
Adapted to those sounds.
Yes.
Now, Mom, me through the misinformation people have when taking care of their animals. For example, when there was a dog that had a shaded skin and they didn't feed a type of diet,
yes.
nutrition. So people have this misconception. For example, I grew up being taught that dogs are not allowed to eat fish, otherwise they're gonna have mange. And those are the misconceptions. Dogs need protein, and that's fish. Fish is essential for a dog's diet, even cats. But what kind of misconceptions and misinformation have you had to shake out of people's minds?
What we've done is printed leaflets and sent them out. Every dog that's got mange, we send out a leaflet and say, fish does not cause mange. Right. Mange is a mite. When the immune system is really low, that's when the mange takes over.
Okay.
Most dogs have a little bit of mange here and there, but the body can cope with it. But when their nutrition is so shocking that they're eating pup, they're eating bone meal, they're eating bones, rice, no protein whatsoever. So they will catch the mange from the next door's dog. So it's very contagious.
Okay.
And what happens is this little mite goes in and sucks on the little root, the follicle, and the hair falls out. But the best rehabilitation is dogs with mange.
They heal quickly.
We give them a tick and flea medication from the vets. Within 3 weeks, the hair's growing. Most of the dogs that we treat, a lot of the dogs we treat, we don't even know what color their hair is.
Okay.
And eventually they start. One dog I confiscated, and the owner actually said, I'm coming to fetch my dog. And I knew even if she got there, she wouldn't recognize her dog to be able to come and fetch her dog in any case.
I can imagine what
Okay, the other one is, which was really, is horrifying, that the people, if you lift your tongue up, there are two white lines, which people think are worms.
Oh.
And they then cut them. And the poor puppy gets infection, and invariably it dies we've had to actually instill this in people's brains that actually it's not a worm.
I think I know the Xhosa word for what
Yes.
they call it. Umnqantula, or
I don't know
I'm
that
not
word,
sure.
but yes,
I've heard of that misconception.
that
I've heard.
horrified me.
So
The other thing is to combat mange, you wash your dog with Jade's fluid or what's the matubula?
yeah,
With
exactly.
matubula. And that too, I've had to stop people doing that and make them understand that they're causing more damage to their dog's coat and skin than anything else.
Washing your dogs with oil and
Nothing helps. Only
Ishiposhi kahle.
the only thing that helps is the cattle dips.
Mhm.
So sometimes we that's what we treat the dog's
The
skin.
dogs with.
Yes. Once a week they go and have some cattle dip. It's either there's one that's injected and there's one that's a spot on.
Okay.
So for dogs that have got mange, we go there 4 weeks in a row.
Okay.
For puppies that need attention, we go there for 4 weeks in a row and we basically charge them 50 Rand.
Okay.
So people are absolutely grateful for what we do.
I'm happy that you do educate people about that, because it's horrifying to even imagine the cutting of the tongue. It's
Absolutely shocking.
I'm also thinking from my earliest memories. I think I've witnessed it as a child, but I won't lie and say that was exactly what you're describing. But I've seen animal abuse.
The other abuse is tying dogs up. And you go, and in the street, there's one house that's got its dog tied up. Over there you'll see suddenly, there's another tied up there, and there's tied up here, and there's what. They all seem to think that they're learning from their neighbors. It's illegal to tie dogs up on a chain, especially if they don't have access to water, they don't have access to food, they get no nutrients. The dogs that run around the township picking up this and that are actually healthier than those that are tied up, because those that are running around pick up different nutrients out of packets and what.
It's what you call, it's a parrot dog. You will never tell what kind of immune system they have, but they survive. But but people, please don't tie your dogs to chains. It's not gonna help the dog become extra vicious or become a god dog. A dog was never created for that purpose.
I always tell the people, would you like to be tied up and left in a jail cell? Because that's exactly what you're doing to your dog. Dogs have feelings, and we've discussed that. We know that dogs have feelings.
Exactly. And then back to the sterilization campaigns, Ma. I saw that you also have community service vets. And
Okay, the compulsory community service vets,
okay.
which we all know as the Zuma year.
Okay.
So they've come out of their universities.
Okay.
They've never practiced, so they come out into the field as a CCS vet. And over the years, the ones we've worked with are so appreciative of what we do and how many dogs we bring to them to be sterilized, apart from the campaign. The other comment they made at the end of this last year was, thank you for trusting us with your dogs.
Yeah. Okay. You're not only changing lives, you're helping people with their careers,
Exactly.
gain experience, and more than that, you still have the heart to wake up in the morning and make sure that you're saving a life.
The other thing that the community, the CCS vets appreciate is the type of cases we bring in, the type of cases that don't end up at the vets. The type of cases are prolapses,
Okay.
dogs with prolapses.
Okay. Explain to us, please.
A prolapse is common in large breed dogs that have not been sterilized in the female, and it's a hormonal problem. And when a dog serves a female, her whole vagina comes out.
I have to censor that there. I'll look at the community guidelines.
Injuries that dogs get. So that's another area that the CCS vets appreciate.
Okay.
Is being exposed to the different type of things that you don't normally get at the private vets. Then we've got the other problem, which is TVT, which is a sexually transmitted cancer.
And people only think it's a people thing. It's also
No,
involved,
yes, exactly. It's a tumor. And this tumor, they were testing dogs with a certain cancer medication. And this tumor shriveled up from this cancer medication. So right now, I have 9 dogs that have got TVT that I have to get to Umzimkulu
Yeah.
for their chemotherapy injections. Those dogs all have to be sterilized. So it'll be extra trips to go and sterilize them because I can't do 9 at once.
Okay.
They're still new at the job.
Sure. This is, it's a lot to take in when you talk about combating the misinformation, and also you yourself, an individual that has self-taught and also received training, and you've learned a lot when it comes to from when you started to where you are now.
We have definitely learned a lot. We have learned how to recognize the common diseases.
The day I was there at Paws and Peeps, you were even able to recognize if a dog has biliary.
Yes, it's one of the common diseases, and we're right in the heart of the tick period. In fact, basically there are ticks almost all the way around, all year round.
Yeah.
So the minute a dog or a pup is lethargic, the minute they don't want to eat, the first thing you do is look at the gums. And the gums are turning pale. They should be a nice pink, healthy pink, but they're turning pale.
Yeah.
And so that's the biliary. Parvo puppies. Parvo is a shocking virus
Okay.
that only puppies that have their 5-in-1 injections are clear of parvo. So parvo is a virus that stays in the soil. It can be walked from one yard to another.
Okay.
That any pup in the township can get parvo. So they suckle on their mummies, and when they're weaned, within 7 to 10 days, so many are just down to it. And they get parvo. So when they get parvo, it's an excruciating stomach problem. Their little tummies run, they get dehydrated, they can get thin in 3 days and die.
Sure.
So we have a lot of people now, there's so many puppies with parvo that it's very sad.
Yeah.
And we try and say, please don't have any more puppies. I've read that it can stay in the soil for 7 years. I don't know how true that is. Be it 2 years, 5 years, whatever, it is dangerous.
Yeah. And this is part of the awareness you're teaching people.
We're teaching people all the time. The other thing that the dogs get is kennel cough. And they start coughing. And they start coughing. And we've been advised by vets that you only give medication once they stop eating. And they recover very well. They recover very easily, but they mustn't get biliary at the same time. And that, because their immune system's low, it can happen. But the other very, very sad thing is that the dogs come in too sick. They arrive with us, they've had biliary for 4 days. The people haven't brought them in or haven't phoned us to fetch them, and that's when we lose dogs, is when they come in too late. The saddest story was a dog called Angel, and she was a pit bull. One of my favorite breeds of dog, because if you can get into that pit bull's brain, it's a friend for life. So Mdu and I were in the township checking up on a puppy that was doing very well, drove past our house, and I said, let's have a look there, because we know the house. It's not a good place. And there we saw this dog standing. She was so thin. And I said to the owner, I'm sorry, we're taking her. No, you can't take her away. So I phoned the SPCA, who then phoned traffic, and traffic arrived. And she had no chance. The dog was in the most shocking condition. I called her Angel. She was just that. Took her back to Paws and Peeps. We put on a drip, and she just stood there. She just absorbed this whole drip. It was only 3 or 4 days later that she actually got a bit of a spring in her step. She was so weak. Of course, she had mange as well. We didn't know what color she was going to be. She turned out to be this gorgeous red pit bull cross with a white blaze. That dog, to this day, absolutely loves me. I've been to visit her where she is on a farm. All she wanted to do was come and virtually sit on my lap. That has been one of my best stories, was Angel.
Yeah.
And we've had so many lovely stories. People come in there and they say, I could never do this. I could never do it. I say, if you see what we see, the first photo and the last photo, that's what's heartwarming. Very heartwarming.
More than anything, I take you as a person of charisma more than anything, because you have that impact and aspect about you that people gravitate to.
Thank you.
And more than anything is when I saw the team and people that you have around you. Okay, I said I needed to know more. No, where is this whole drive? And had you been where I've been and witnessed the things I've witnessed, there is that drive, and it's all driven by one person. And I've never seen such influence more than anything, just to make sure that everyone feels appreciated, the animals feel appreciated. You have that thing, and you have that nurturing aspect about you, Mom. That it's not a wonder why this is a success. And for people that want to have more information, is there any other outlets that they can reach out? For example, there's the Facebook page, right? Is there any other method of communication or
No, there actually isn't.
Yeah.
Because it all ends up on my shoulders. And as you've said, I'm busy as it is.
Yeah,
So-
you had to answer the phone because it might be another case.
Yes. Shame. This morning we had a case of a young girl from, where's she from? Coast Valley.
Okay.
And she brought her dog. And this little dog has been poisoned.
Yeah.
She was so heartbroken that you've got to have a full love tank to do this work. You
Yeah.
can't just be hard on the outside.
Yeah.
On the inside, you've got to be compassionate to the people that come in, to the people that lose their animals. You know, most people don't understand that caring for dogs and loving dogs is something that all people have. It's not one color, these people are good with dogs, those people, oh no, they're terrible, No, it's none of that. There are such wonderful people who love their pets. Something that I've learned, and I have to stop people in their tracks many times and say, no, those people love their dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can also put myself in.
You can relate to that
I can
because
relate. I appreciate the fact that people like you exist to facilitate and also counsel people when it comes to situation like that. I had my family to counsel me, but most people don't have a situation that you provide like that.
exactly.
Because when it comes to when you look at it, people don't care about animals.
No, that's the saddest part. I often have to tell people, your dog is not just like a horse or a cow. Don't just leave it to eat the grass that's there. Dogs are different. Dogs have feeling, just like humans have feelings.
Oh, so Ma, we have to get to this point, and I wanted to make sure that I ask this question because you are at the same time as you saving animals, you also put yourself in danger. Right. Now, the worst case scenario, especially when it comes to working with dogs and the animals, especially dogs and cats, right? Tell me about, has there ever been a situation where you are expose yourself to dangers like rabies?
In 2018, we had a pup that a lady wanted to adopt. We took it to her and she phoned that afternoon and she said, I can't cope with this dog. It was a pup about this big. And she says, it's just getting out, it's running, I can't cope with it. So we fetched it. And it's mingled with the other dogs. And eventually, the evening meal, it was aggressive. The next morning, it was also aggressive again, and it bit me on my hand. So I got through to Zima, the state, I think he's a state technician. And he said, just lock the dog up for the weekend, I'll come next week. And he came on the Tuesday. Well, with rabies, the throat was closing up. That's why the dog gets frantic as well. They drink a lot of water, they don't eat, but they are just in a state. And it was very difficult to catch this little dog, to be able to put it down so that the body could go to Allerton and be tested. Well, this little dog was definitely had rabies. So that was when I had to go to the hospital and start the injections.
Okay.
But my guys are thankfully cautious when it comes to dogs. They very cautious. And I unfortunately have a problem. I'm not afraid of a dog. So I've had the odd bite.
It's like the slight pause when you said, I have a problem. I thought you were going to say you are infected with rabies.
No, definitely not. I have a problem
Okay.
because, yes, I'm not afraid of a dog, but I can actually get through to them. And very, very few don't like me, like Teddy. Very, very
Teddy the
few.
racist dog.
Yes, Teddy the little racist dog. Yeah. I actually once went delivering thatch grass to my maid in the rural areas. And when I got out of one of the crawls, a dog charged me. I had to run and get into the vehicle. This dog was so racist. I don't think it had seen a white person in its life before. So maybe that's when I knew that there's something about dogs. People mustn't.
Dogs can see color. Scientifically,
They're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to.
I disagree completely.
But the thing is, when you look at it scientifically, even when they say dogs can see in only black and white,
I don't
that's
believe
not
in
true.
that.
In black and white, they are different shades.
Sometimes we'll have somebody arrive in a bright yellow top. The dogs go crazy.
Dogs can see color.
I'm telling you, they can see color.
Yeah, okay. More than anything, I hope you always take precautions, which you obviously do. But it's more than anything, it's more than creating awareness and telling our audience that Paws and Peeps does the work it does. You have to understand that the individuals at Paws and Peeps dedicate their lives and also risk their lives, and that's why I had to make sure that this question is asked, and make sure that more than anything is that for you as our audience, understand what kind of dedication it takes, not only to make success out of it, but also acknowledging that more than anything, you are taking a risk, but it's for the greater good. And much appreciation to Ma for sharing her story with us. And I'd like to visit Paws and Peeps as often as I can, because it is an amazing atmosphere, and you've created a family within your organization.
Yes, we have. We do a lot of laughing.
We have
a lot of fun.
Yeah. And okay, I've asked the questions I've wanted to ask. Is there anything you would love to tell our audience at Kokstad Connect?
Well, first of all, thank you for following Kokstad Connect. Yes, Unati, you have blown me away with this whole interview with your interest in Paws and Peeps. For me, I'm old. I'm not into technology. I'm an idiot actually with technology.
Don't even say that, Ma.
And-
Don't even say that. For the
And
people.
for you to have chosen to come and bring Paws and Peeps out into the open is really something I appreciate.
More than anything, Mom, we have to understand that Kokstad Connect is not only just a business itself. The word Kokstad alone involves our town, our community.
Exactly.
And it's about time that the narrative about Kokstad is not restricted to what the outside world perceives it to be. And that's why stories like Paws and Peeps are needed to be known by our community up at Kokstad. Exactly, Mom. So more than anything, we don't want stories like yours being overlooked, and especially when it comes to also creating awareness. We have to educate our audience here in Kokstad, especially our Kokstad Connect audience, about stories like these here, because it's once in a lifetime that you get a chance to witness individuals doing great work. That's stories that are bigger than us, stories that make change lives and cause a major impact. So more than anything, please don't even question why the team of Kokstad Connect has chosen to ask you to tell your story, right? Look at it in this way. Who's gonna tell your story? Who's gonna tell Kokstad's story? Especially our community. In such a narrative that individuals that belong here actually understand exactly what. So in summing up, it is a story that needs to be known. It needs to be out there, because Kokstad is not it's not an individual story. It's a story that tells what has happened and where you're going, how things have started. With that,
Thank you very much. You know, I'm not a person that wants to be in the limelight.
I understand.
It's not something that's come from me, and so I appreciate you for doing it.
I appreciate you for being here with us, and thank you so much. And guys, follow Paws and Peeps also on Facebook. Just type in Paws and Peeps. You'll witness the amazing work that they have done. You'll be in awe and be involved if you really want to also be involved.
There's one thing I'd like, and that is, by being involved, I need eyes and ears out there. I need people to report problems. I need for everybody to be wide awake and just know they can phone Paws and Peeps and we'll assist. We'll try our best. So if you can just be our eyes and ears out there, we'd love that.
And thank you so much, Mona, for being here. And with that, there, we can close.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.